Right, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining tonight's live session about our compounding strategy. As most of our older members know from last year, the compounding strategy can be a relative safe and steady way of achieving great amounts of profit, as it only requires for a trade to achieve a one winning trade a day. And the best part is that the trade only requires you to win a 1% candle. So with a leverage of 5, this would sum up to be 5% profit on each daily compound trade. Because you only need at least one of these trades a day, it's relatively safe and stress-free to set one up, as you just need the perfect conditions once a day to take one. Meaning you could really plan out that one perfect 1% trade once a day and be climbing up a ladder to financial freedom. So on my screen right here, you can see the compounding sheet, which I will also share at the end of the live session. You can see how easily it is to turn $100 into 10K within 5 months. So this is month 1 right here, and you got month 5 right here. I will explain it in a little bit more detail. But also, in theory, in about 8 months with this strategy, you could turn $100 into, we go to the 8-month one. With $100 in theory, you could end up with like 150K. And if we would really go berserk, the same strategy could even net you about 1.5 million within 10 months of doing one single trade a day, of only achieving a 1% win on each of these trades. Now, of course, this number might seem a little bit insane. In theory, it is possible, though the real question is, of course, with how much money are you able to comfortably do these compounding trades? For example, for some people, 10K would be the very solid max to achieve almost. Let me drag it down to the 10K one real quick. There we go. So with the 10K one, you would be able to achieve almost $500 profit on each trade, making about 25K a month. And for others, bags of around, for example, 625, which is about $32 profit on each trade, which will sum up to about 1.5K a month. Is more than enough to be comfortable with. So you might be wondering, if it is this easy, then why is not everyone doing it? Well, that is because this strategy isn't commonly used, as it was created by me, inspired by a few other already existing methods. Combining the traditional compounding idea and the vision behind the scalping strategy, this method was born. The biggest mistake most people make while compounding is that people don't have control over their discipline. After tasting a few wins and feeling how easy it is to make these steady compounds, they often overdo themselves by trying to trade as much compounds as they can within a day, which will 9 out of 10 times lead to a loss. This strategy is developed based on only trading setups with a high level of confidence, meaning only one trade a day should be your goal with this compounding strategy, with maybe an exception of taking a second or third if you are really 1000% sure that this setup is about to make a good win for you. So another mistake people make is to add the profit of every trade into the next trade. The goal of compounding is to put your profit away on a separate wallet or sub account or You could even transfer it to your USDT profit into your spot wallet, for example. Just make sure you don't, for example, if you start with 100 and you make one win, don't enter the next trade with like 105. Just make sure that each trade you do, you trade with that 100, you try to take the $5 profit, you sign it off in your compounding sheet, and at the bottom you can see how much profit you should have on your other wallet, and just go it down that way. So the idea really is to lock away your profit for 30 days or 30 trades, and at the end of those 30 trade cycle, you add the profit into your new trading bag. So by looking at the 1 month here, you would be starting with that $100, which I just said, making that $5 profit on each trade for 30 trades in a row. And of course, lock those $5 profits away in another wallet and just keep on going with that 100 until you have that 30 completed. After completing 30 trades, you'll be having about $150 profit. And you will be taking that profit into month 2, on which you will trade with $250 bags, making you about $12.50 US dollar profit on each trade, which will end up being around $375 profit by the end of the month, which you will then take into the next month, where you will trade with 625 bags, making 31.25 US dollar profits, and so on. So another mistake that people make, which takes away one of the main powers of this strategy, is to have a too wide stop loss. With this strategy, we aim for a 1% stop loss with maybe a maximum of 2%. This way, you will only lose 1 or 2 compounds on each trade you lose, which you can then take out of your winning compounding wallet, bag, whatever, wherever you keep the winning trades, in order to trade with the original trading bag size again. So for example, if you start with that $100 and you make like, I don't know, let's just say you have like 3 wins and $15 in your wallet. Now, if you lose one of those trades, you will only lose $5, for example. You take that $5 from the winning bag, you take away this win right here, and then you would be at least 2 wins, and you move on. So in the absolute theory, you would only need about 60% win rate to progress. But as I just said, as you only need 1 trade a day, you can really focus on that like really perfect condition. So don't try to rush, don't try to be greedy, really try to do it perfectly. But I will show you the strategy in a bit further down the road. So the last mistake that people often make while compounding is that they get greedy and want it to stay in too long to make even more profit. While this is of course a solid scalping mindset, it doesn't fit the compounding strategy. Once you hit that 1% mark, you should be planning your exit. Now that I have explained a little bit more about this concept of compounding and showed you the amount of money you could be making if you have a consistency within these trades of at least 1 winning trade a day on a very achievable 1% trade, I want to move on to how will we be doing these things in our group. So after this session, I will create a compounding trading channel in our signal section. We will be planning to have 2 ways of doing these compounding sessions going forward. First, we want to do multiple compounding sessions a week in a live session, where we will basically tell you guys when, where, how to enter and when to exit. This will be shown on my screen, but I will also share a TradingView live link. And with this live link, you can view my chart live on your own monitor, but you can also click the button copy, which will basically put the entire template in your own trading view. So I also have a template, which I will show you guys in a moment, which makes it very easy to follow along when you should or could exit the trade. Our second way of giving compounds is to give compounding setup ideas within the compounding trading channel, just as we do in the future trading channel, but they are just dedicated to compounding trades. These will be monitored most of the time, as one of our admins will likely be taking the trades themselves as well. But it could also just be posted with an idea tag within the title, indicating that a member should analyze the chart themselves based on the idea within the chart that we just posted. While we try to do multiple live sessions a week, we also hope to educate you guys and teach you guys how this concept works, so you can potentially learn how to make your own compounding trades as well. Of course, you could also always take a compound based on our future trades. There's no set rules on when or how you should do the compounding, as you could easily take our future setups and just on take profit one, fully close your trade in order to achieve an extra compounding trade. Just remember to not overdo it and try to keep your compounding and compounding profit separated from your normal trading bags in order to really follow the compounding plan with discipline in order to achieve a steady stream of success. Now, let's look at the chart where I have prepared an example of the template we will use in our compounding sessions. Once we take an entry within the live session, based on me vocally telling you to enter here, we will place the white entry line, indicating our average entry price. For example, in this situation, we are hitting the premium resistance a couple of times, unable to break through. I would be expecting the EMA 20 down here to be tested as support, and if it bounces up, we would look for a long compound, and if it breaks, we will be looking for a shorting compound. So in this example right here, as it is a rewind, we will be looking for a short compound. So in a live session, we would be discussing this right now, and I would say, okay, it is very likely for the price to drop to the EMA 50 at the EQ level right here, potentially filling this fair value gap and all that kind of stuff. So I will explain why we would enter. So we would be drawing an entry line right here. Next, we will place our stop loss box and all that stuff. There we go. So this is basically how the template would look like, giving you a clear view of our ranges. So let me drop that down a little bit more in explanation. So our stop loss box is a range between 0.60, which is 3% with an X5 leverage, and a 1.50 percentage, which is 7.50% with an X5 leverage. Once we enter this red box right here, we go on high alert, as anywhere in this box I can call for an exit, keeping it within 1.50 maximum loss range. So we will only allow ourselves to lose a maximum of 1.5 compound, though we will most likely be aiming for a steady 1% maximum. We will also draw our take profit box, which we just did. As you can see, we have 3 lines here: an orange 3% line, a yellow 4% line, and a green 5% line, indicating the amount of profit we will achieve once we close in one of these lines. Our goal is to hit the yellow line and not let it retouch the orange. If we see a decline after touching the yellow line, we will close the trade before it exits the take profit box, meaning we will at least achieve a half compound. Not ideal, but we will rather close with a small profit than to let it get out of the box. If we see the yellow line being crossed towards the green line, we will have our orders ready to exit on that green line, preferably with a limit order to reduce funding fees, costs, and such, to just lower the cost. After we close our trade, we will put the profit made in our separate wallet and mark it down in the sheet. So let me just give you a live example of how this would look like. So like we just discussed in the live session, I would say, okay, if we break this EMA 20 line down, we will enter at this entry line and we will try to achieve the maximum amount of profit right here. So let's just simulate a live situation right here. So the price is still going a little bit sideways, not breaking down yet. There we go. And there was a little bit a big candle for the simulation. I was hoping it would steadily move down. But in this example, you can see the candle pushing below our entry zone, which we marked down at the start of the session, hitting our profit zone, moving back up to our entry, and potentially even making a second compound. All right, well, that's all for this live session. I do hope that you guys enjoyed it and are looking forward to our compounding sessions as much as we do.